All right, welcome back to another 6-minute quick win. And for today, the key question I want you to think about is how much of your marketing and sales process have you actually validated with your target persona? Now, this is one of those industry best practices that we all know we should do, but how many of us have actually done it? Now, for marketing assets like email sequences, your website, lead magnets, digital ads, basically any type of messaging, it's obvious why you should test, right? But what's not obvious, and probably actually more important, is that you should do the same thing on the sales side. Test your discovery calls, your demos, your sales decks and proposals, specifically on do they actually help you close the sale with your target buyer or do they create friction? This is where getting feedback from your target buyer can prevent a lot of unnecessary mistakes because, let's face it, leads aren't going to tell you where you went wrong, right? So that's the reason why I ask, how much of your sales and marketing process have you actually validated? Because B2B Sales Magic is a referral group. And a referral isn't going to do you any good if your marketing and sales has a lot of friction. Now, if you're not part of a community that offers access to personas for research and testing purposes, then Winter is a market research community that can help you find matches with your ICP so that you can get feedback. They have access to 60,000 contacts, but they're expensive. Joining Winter is like $20,000 a year. Luckily for us, B2B Sales Magic has access to 45,000 contacts. So if you want feedback from, let's say, 7 CFOs for you to do research, that's just a group making introductions for you. And this is why target persona feedback is one of our core activities. And if you look at the member directory, a lot of major key personas are represented there. Business owners, CFOs, CMOs, CTOs. So you can get a lot of good persona feedback just by reaching out to existing members. And if this is something that you want to do, and I highly recommend that you do this, especially for your sales presentations, you have 3 ways of doing this. 1, you can do it privately during your one-on-ones when you meet with other members. 2, you can do it publicly during chapter meetings for your focus member activity. Or 3, if you have very specific needs for a very specific persona, like you need 7 CFOs, then as a group, we can search for persona matches and make those introductions for you. Again, as your focus member activity. Now, to give you an example of what this looks like, I'm going to show you 2 very simple examples. All right. My first exercise will be on the marketing side. And specifically, it'll be for my business card that I'm going to use for networking because this is a traditional business card, right? Name and contact info on the front and logo and tagline on the back. Now, you've heard me talk about making your business cards do more because if you think about it, when you meet someone in person during networking, your business card is probably the only physical object that they're going to take home with them. So why not turn it into an actual resource? So to that end, this is my business card last year, and I wanted something stronger, better for networking. So I asked 3 groups of executives, what's confusing about this and why? And what are some reasons why you would not follow the links on the card? Now, for 2 of those sessions, I asked during my chapter meeting, and I got some fabulous feedback. And here is my new business card design that I will be taking with me to this year's conference. Now, this is especially good for me because my services are abstract. So I wanted something that can help people visualize what my company does without them having to remember exactly what I said, which is why the images and the QR code is there. And this is an example of why this exercise was so helpful. All right, now for my second example, it's going to be on the sales side. And unlike the first, I think everybody can benefit from this particular example. Now, this was inspired by a conversation I had with Elaine Acker, which is on what to do with your lukewarm connections on LinkedIn, like casual acquaintances or maybe someone you haven't talked to in a long time. Now, if you're like me, trying to make sales introductions to those lukewarm connections feels a little awkward and salesy. So I thought, well, what about a marketing intro, which is what you're seeing here in this particular example, right? I am introducing Jeremiah Shaw to my connection, Emily, which in this example is a lukewarm connection. Now, I've never seen this type of introduction before, but to me, it seems like an easier ask to a lukewarm connection because it's not about sales. And number two, it opens the door to one to many opportunities because now Jeremiah and Emily can cross promote, which, as you know, I love one to many opportunities. And number three, and this is the most important, in order to do a collab, you're going to have to learn about each other's businesses, which means Jeremiah is going to be able to explain what he does to Emily. Now, just like before, I had two panels of executives, and I asked them a couple of simple questions that you're seeing here about what they would do. And the answers were really enlightening. Number one, are you more likely to respond to this than a traditional sales intro or a DM? And almost everyone said yes, even if the DM came from a lukewarm introduction. And the biggest reason is because it's not a sales outreach, and their guards were down. Number two, what would you do next? Almost everybody said they would look at Jeremiah's LinkedIn profile. And number three, how would you respond, if at all, and why? And almost everybody said they would explore the option. So, with that feedback, I think this is a really good way to get referrals to marketing amplifiers and referral partners. And my biggest takeaway from this is that you don't need a strong connection to do this. And this is why doing the target persona feedback exercise is so helpful, because in 5-10 minutes, you uncover all of this insight before you do it for real, saving you all of the headache of trial and error. All right, that's it for now. I'm John. This is B2B Sales Magic.